What's up, YouTubers? Time for another episode of What the Fish. So I just wanted to check in here real quick and let you know the 55-gallon discus tank has taken a turn, and it is going to stay the Cichlid tank. Well, Cichlid, one ginormous pleco. See if we can get him in the picture here. There he is. My big megalodon shark of this tank. Let's see if I can get it to focus here. There we go. He's a big boy. Then I have also in this tank 3 goldfish that are left over when I got rid of the Oscar, who was just simply getting to be too much. He was killing too many fish. So I got from a rescue a 50-gallon tank, corner tank, and a friend of mine was in the market for Oscars, so that is where the Oscar has gone. But I had these 3 feeder goldfish left, and I assumed once I put the cichlids into this tank that they would make short work of those goldfish. But lo and behold, the goldfish have hung around, and I don't see the big boy. Oh, there's the big boy right there. This goldfish right here, there's 4 of them left in here, but this one over here on the right hand side, you see him darting around like kind of crazy over there, is actually close to as big as the cichlids that are in there now. He's really growing by leaps and bounds. That little white and orange one that you saw swim behind him there was the biggest one when they were originally put in here, and you can see the difference in size now. The other one is clearly way outgrown him. Why one fish grows faster than another, I have no idea. They're in the same environment, they're being fed the same foods, but this tank has really matured to be kind of exactly what I was looking for. I wanted a tank where there was a lot of motion. For a long time I had my 75 had 2-3 fish in it, and whenever you'd come up to the tank they would hide. So this tank has really achieved what I was going for, trying to get a lot of motion in the tank. And as you can see, you look at this tank and there's always someone swimming by. Whenever I walk up to the tank, it's like they're sitting in a movie theater. They all line up against the glass because they know it's time to eat. Yeah, so I just wanted to touch base, let you know that I have, as you can see with the bluestone, I've rescaped this tank to make it more appropriate for what I was looking for the cichlids. I wanted to use some kind of large rocks that created caves and holes and places for them to hide. And of course, anyone who has cichlids knows that they're little excavators too, so they dig out their own little caves underneath the rocks, and then defend them incredibly. It's just amazing to watch. These little guys. You see that big guy right there in the front, and you would think he's the tank boss, but in actuality, that little guy right beneath him that keeps swimming back and forth, his name's Jay, is the tank boss. He takes nothing from no one. You see he has no fear of the bigger fish. When any fish comes near the cave that he recently dug out, he is super aggressive. But due to the amount of fish that are in here, they all seem to get along. He doesn't focus his aggression on any one fish. It's just whoever happens to come too close to his territory. And on another note, you can see down there in the bottom the green terror. See if I can get a close-up of him. He was one of the rescue fish. There was 3 of them. One of them died within a couple of days of getting it. And I attribute that to the fact that they were just in horrible conditions. And generally I keep my tanks, well, I use RO water, and then I remineralize. So, you know, my nitrates are super, super low, close to or at zero most of the time. And I think going from the environment they were in, where they were kind of, being neglected, and, they were in really poor water quality, I thought that maybe the reason that I lost him was going from the horrible water conditions over to the really good water conditions actually did more harm than good with him. But the other two that were in the tank with him, they're still kicking. The Green Terror, he's supposed to be a really aggressive fish. He just keeps getting beat up. If there's anyone out there who can give this guy a good home, it'd be great. He's supposed to be very aggressive, but he is not. He is very, very docile. He runs from everybody, and he's just not doing very well. I mean, he's surviving, but I don't like fish to just survive. I feel a responsibility to help them to thrive while they're in my care, and I don't feel like he's thriving. So he may not be very long for this tank, just because of the fact I don't like seeing him getting beat up, quite frankly. And the 75 that they came out of, I have turned into the discus tank, so I can't put him back into that tank. My only other option is possibly to bring him to my LFS and see if he can find a good home for him, because I don't like to see him in this condition. The whole reason I rescued him was to get him out of this, and when I put him in here, I tried Melafix. He started to look better for a couple of days, and then I don't know, he went kind of right back to looking all beat up. And I thought maybe it was aggression from one of the other fish, but I've been watching really closely, and it just doesn't appear that it's aggression. It is, his fins are all torn up, and like I said, I used the Melafix. It started to fix them, but I just don't know what happened. It was like, like with the other one, when I first put him in the cleaner water, he looked great, and then a day or two later he was just dead. His body couldn't handle the switch from the high nutrient, high nitrate tank he was in to, my really clean water. So that was clearly a problem with him, and it may be the same issue here, where he's just going through a transition of being so used to that nutrient rich, high nitrate water where he came from. And the only thing I still have a question with is why the Melafix worked for a little while and then it seemingly just stopped working. I did a 4-day treatment, and like I said, he started to look really good, and I didn't want it to have any adverse effects on the other fish, so I stopped the treatment, because like I said, he looked better. I did a big water change. I did a 50% water change, because you could literally smell the Melafix when you walked up to the tank. And then after I did that, I also connected a canister filter and put a carbon pad in it to get the remaining Melafix out of the water. But he reverted right back to his beat up looking self, and I just don't, I don't feel right keeping him in something where he's going to be that beat up. I'd rather he goes to someone who can either dedicate a tank to him, or at least dedicate a tank to him long enough for him to heal up and really thrive. Because it's not natural for a fish to be stuck inside of a glass box as it is. So I want them to be as happy as possible, and the rest of the fish in this tank are just they're as happy as can be. I know the water doesn't look really clear on these pictures. I just rescaped with all this rock yesterday, and I don't know why, but on the camera it shows as cloudy. It's really pretty clear from everything being stirred up yesterday, and since then the guys kind of digging out their caves, things have gotten a little bit stirred up. But on the whole, my parameters are all good. My TDS, well, I mean, for cichlids, TDS isn't a huge priority, but everything looks good. My pH is good. My nitrates, nitrites, ammonia, all, you know, 0 or close to 0. Which is kind of amazing to me too, because of these goldfish in here. I thought, you know, that it was going to cause havoc for the water parameters, but keeping up with the water changes, doing once, twice a week, 10%, about doing, like, it's a 55 and I do about 5 gallons twice a week. If I don't get to it twice a week, I'll do 10 to 15 gallons once a week, just because of the amount of fish that's in here, and because of the goldfish. The goldfish really worry me being in this tank. Like I said, I thought the cichlids were going to eat them when I first put them in here, and they ended up becoming buddy-buddy with them. So, you know, as long as they're not causing any harm or causing my water parameters to go crazy, I'm going to leave them in here. And when the weather breaks around here, I am going to either find a friend's pond, or I'm going to dig a pond myself, and I'm going to get them a little bit closer to where they, you know, where they belong, you know, someplace a little bit bigger for them to grow and kind of spread their fins, so to speak. But yeah, so that's the update on the 55. Any questions or comments, drop them below. Like I said, if there's anyone out there that can give that green terror a good home, or even has suggestions of something I could do in here to make him more comfortable, or try and, you know, help him to heal without, you know, adversely affecting the other fish. I do have a quarantine tank, but he's already been through so much and switched around from tank to tank to tank so much that I'm trying to get it as to where he's going, that's where he's going to stay, so he doesn't have to continually go through stressor after stressor after stressor, because that doesn't have a positive effect on him either. So yeah, if you like what you saw, give me the thumbs up, drop your comments below, and if you want to continue to see what happens with the 55 and all of my other tanks, just click that subscribe button, and I'll be sure to keep you guys in the know as to what's going on. I do have another project coming up in the next couple of weeks that I will be posting. It's a big secret, but check back often to find out what that is. And over the weekend, I'm going to post an update of my saltwater nano tank. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.